His laptop screen glowed in the dim room, the blue light casting sharp lines on his sleeping face. I hadn't meant to snoop, I swear I hadn't. But when your fiancé leaves his laptop open on the kitchen counter, logged into everything, with a half-written email open that starts with "Last night was amazing. I can't wait to see you again," curiosity becomes a loaded gun, and I pulled the trigger. My thumb hovered over the trackpad, heart slamming against my ribs like it was trying to escape my chest. I clicked. Her name was Natalie. The email was to her. There were pictures, videos, love notes. A whole folder titled, "Our Love," filled with time-stamped memories. The thing was, those timestamps didn't match the life I thought we were building. The weekend he said he was visiting his mom in Tampa. Candlelit dinner photos with her in Nashville. That boy's trip to Mexico? A beach photo. Her, straddling him, his mouth on her shoulder. He was wearing the bracelet I gave him. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't even feel the sting of betrayal right away. What I felt was stillness. Cold, calculating stillness. Like the part of me that loved him died, and what was left was something smarter, meaner. Someone who wanted to burn it all down, but slow. I closed the laptop carefully, set it back exactly how I found it. Then I walked into our bedroom, climbed into bed next to him, and whispered, "I love you." He mumbled it back in his sleep. Now let's rewind. Just 2 weeks earlier, I was the girl everyone envied. My name is Lila, 30, PR executive, apartment in the heart of Atlanta with floor-to-ceiling windows and a French bulldog named Zeke who has more Instagram followers than I do. My fiancé, Marcus, was everything on paper. Charismatic, tall, driven, finance guy with perfect teeth and just enough facial scruff to make grandmothers swoon and bartenders pour doubles without asking. We'd been together 3 years. Engaged for 7 months. The wedding was supposed to be in November, 2 months away. The dress hung in my closet. My bridesmaids group chat buzzed daily with planning drama. My mother had already remortgaged her house for the reception. If there were signs, I missed them. He was attentive. He remembered anniversaries. He kissed me like he meant it. He cooked on Sundays and danced with me in the kitchen. He called me my forever. And yet, now I knew. And now, I had a plan. First, I did what any rational, heartbroken woman with a flair for drama and a high emotional IQ would do. I turned myself into an actress. Not the over-the-top, scream-in-the-rain kind. No, I became meticulous. Subtle. Dangerous. I pretended nothing had changed. I continued wedding planning like a champ. I bought him a new watch, the one he'd been eyeing. I even suggested a weekend getaway for just us, knowing full well he had plans to see Natalie. I wanted to see how well he could lie to my face. Spoiler, he could lie like a politician. "Babe, I'd love to, but the guys are planning this surprise bachelor trip for me in Nashville. I really can't cancel." I smiled. "Of course. You deserve it. Just don't get too wild, Mr. Almost Married." He kissed my forehead and said, "Only wild for you." Meanwhile, I created a burner account. I became the curious ghost and followed Natalie on Instagram. Her page was private, but she wasn't exactly cautious. She had tagged him in a story once. Through that, I found her Facebook. Through that, I found her Venmo. Through Venmo, I saw transactions, candlelight dinner emoji, bed emoji, thanks for last night, note with a rose. I screenshotted everything. "Oh, Natalie. You sweet, clueless creature. He told you he was single, didn't he?" But I wasn't ready to expose him. Not yet. First, I needed to get even. Not the angry kind of revenge. No, I was going to reclaim my power. If I was the side chick in his love story, then he was about to be the side dude in mine. So I texted a man I hadn't spoken to in months. His name was Jordan. My almost boyfriend before Marcus. Photographer. Handsome in that moody, scruffy kind of way. We'd ended on good terms, timing had been off. I told him I was thinking of him lately. He responded within 3 minutes. 2 days later, I was in his studio, sipping wine, while he showed me his latest work. "You look different," he said. "Different good or different bad?" I asked, twirling the stem of my glass. "Different, dangerous." I smiled. "Good." He leaned closer. I missed you. Prove it. That night, I let Marcus believe I was having dinner with my cousin Rachel. I even sent him a selfie of us from a dinner we had months ago. He replied with a heart emoji and said, "Tell Rach I said hi." Meanwhile, I was tangled in sheets that weren't his, tasting a kind of freedom I hadn't known I needed. I wasn't in love with Jordan. That wasn't the point. The point was Marcus had made me an option. Now he was mine. And just like his email, I left digital breadcrumbs. A selfie saved to my cloud drive. A note in my notes app titled, "Jordan." A WhatsApp message with the preview, "Can't stop thinking about you." I knew Marcus would snoop eventually. I just needed to bait the hook. The trap was set. But the best part? I had a wedding to cancel. The bridal shower was supposed to be a celebration. A floral, Instagrammable, Prosecco-fueled afternoon of laughter, stories, and way too many monogrammed gifts I never asked for. My maid of honor, Tara, had rented out the back garden of a chic little cafe in Inman Park, complete with pastel balloons, a vintage photo booth, and a hired violinist who only played Taylor Swift covers. It was all very on-brand for the Lila I used to be. But now, I was playing a role. The bride-to-be with the perfect life. The one who didn't just discover her fiancé had a second life with a woman named Natalie, who believed she was the only woman in his world. I smiled. I posed. I held up lingerie and squealed on cue. But behind my sunglasses, my eyes were scanning every guest, every whispered conversation, wondering if anyone else knew. If they had seen the signs. If Tara knew. If my own mother suspected anything. If someone had spotted Marcus and Natalie out together and just never told me, assuming it wasn't their place. I wondered what they'd do if I just stood up right then and there, clinked my glass, and announced, "Ladies, thank you for coming to my pre-divorce party. The groom won't be joining us because he's too busy living his best double life with someone who thinks monogamy is a suggestion, not a standard." But I didn't. Because I needed more. I needed him to suffer the slow burn of discovery, just like I had. So I played nice. I gave tearful hugs. I opened a card from his mother and pretended not to notice the way her hands trembled as she handed it to me. Maybe she knew something. Or maybe she just felt something off in the air, the way storms feel before the clouds gather. That night, I went home to Marcus. He had candles lit. A bath drawn. He kissed me like a man deeply in love. And I let him. I moaned at the right times. I said I missed him even though I'd spent the entire weekend trying not to vomit every time he touched me. Then, while he was asleep, I logged into our joint wedding website. I changed the password. I deleted the entire registry. And then I uploaded one photo. Just one. It was from Jordan's studio. My back to the camera, bare shoulders, his hands on my waist, and the caption read, "You never forget your first love." I made the site public. I waited. The next morning, I woke up to 14 missed calls from Marcus. 5 texts. 1 furious voicemail. He had seen it. But the best part? I wasn't answering any of them. I ghosted him for 24 hours. Let him marinate in confusion and paranoia. Let him spiral. I knew he'd be wondering, who was that man? Had I cheated? Was the wedding still on? Why couldn't he log into the website anymore? What else did I know? Around noon the next day, Tara called. "Lila, what's going on?" Marcus texted me like 5 times. He said the wedding site is down and you're not answering him. I inhaled slowly, then smiled through the phone. Oh? Weird. Maybe it's a glitch. "Lila, are you okay?" Perfect, I lied. She didn't buy it, but she didn't press either. Not yet. That evening, I went to dinner alone. Picked the restaurant Marcus took Natalie to 2 weeks ago, thanks to her tag story. I sat at the same corner booth, wore a red dress just like she had, and flirted shamelessly with the bartender. I wanted to see if the staff recognized me. If they'd ask if I was his girl again. They didn't. But I left a generous tip and a note. "Tell Marcus I said hi." Petty? Maybe. Therapeutic? Absolutely. When I got home, he was waiting. In the dark. Lights off, kitchen a mess, tie undone, shirt wrinkled. He looked like a man unraveling. "Where have you been?" I shrugged. Out. With who? Why do you care? I walked past him, letting my perfume linger behind like a ghost. He grabbed my wrist. Not hard. Just firm. Lila, what's going on? What is that picture? Who is he? I stared at him. Let silence stretch until it hurt. Then I leaned in close so he could smell the wine and revenge on my breath. Do you want me to lie? His grip loosened. I walked away. Upstairs, I locked the door behind me and started writing a letter. To Natalie. But not to send. Not yet. Just to rehearse. Because the real game was only just beginning. The thing about revenge is it's a lot like chess. It's not about the flashy moves, it's about patience. Timing. Control. And I had all three. I knew Marcus's bachelor party was coming up. He'd been talking about it for weeks. Vegas, of course. Because nothing says mature groom like slot machines, overpriced cocktails, and the vague promise of sins that stay secret. He thought I didn't know the details, but I did. He wasn't very good at hiding things from someone who'd once memorized his Starbucks order, his mother's birthday, and the exact look he gave when he lied. He was flying out Friday night. I kissed him goodbye at the airport, helped zip his suitcase, and even packed him a little groom-on-the-go kit with aspirin, protein bars, and a card that said, "Don't do anything I wouldn't do." I made sure the note was signed with a lipstick kiss. Then I went home, poured a glass of wine, opened my laptop, and logged into the location tracking app I'd secretly installed on his phone weeks ago. It pinged, Gate C23, Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Then, wheels up. Let the spy games begin. Marcus had a friend named Jalen. Loud. Reckless. The kind of guy who thought loyalty meant covering up your buddy's worst behavior rather than holding them accountable. Luckily for me, he was also careless. I created a fake Instagram account under the name Brielle profile picture. Generic but hot. Followed Jalen, reacted to a few of his stories, sent a message, "You in Vegas too?" He responded with a selfie of a rooftop bar and a wink emoji. From there, it was child's play. He posted a boomerang of champagne bottles. He tagged Marcus. He tagged the club. He tagged the hotel. Men are so tragically predictable when they think no one's watching. Meanwhile, I reached out to Natalie. Not directly. First, I followed her again with my burner. This time, she followed back. I posted a single story. Black screen. White text. Your man's in Vegas. Just like mine. Should we compare notes? It didn't take long. She replied with a single question mark. Then a message. Who are you? I waited an hour before answering. Let the tension marinate. Then I sent her a video. Not one of her and Marcus, no. Those were for later. This video was of Marcus, shirtless, standing in my kitchen, flipping pancakes, humming Marvin Gaye. I captioned it. He made these the morning after he told me I was the only one. 3 dots. She was typing, then stopped, then typing again. She sent me her number. We talked that night. She cried. She cursed. She told me things I didn't know about trips he said were for work, about the bracelet she gave him that I'd always assumed came from his sister, about how he told her his ex, me, was obsessed and still calling him. He told her I was unhinged. And somehow, that made me laugh. A long, breathless laugh that twisted into something bitter. She wasn't evil. Just a girl in love. A girl who didn't know she was being played like me. A girl who sounded a lot like I did 2 years ago. When the call ended, I stared at the ceiling for a long time. Then I texted her one last thing. Don't do anything rash. Let's play it smart. Let's play it slow. And she agreed. Back in Vegas, Marcus was having the time of his life, or so he thought. Jalen posted another story. This one was at a strip club. Blurry, chaotic, with Marcus front and center, throwing bills, grinning ear to ear. The caption? Last night of freedom. I screenshotted everything. Sent it to myself. Saved it in a folder called Wedding Memories. Then I did something risky. I booked a ticket. To Vegas. Not to confront him. Not yet. I wasn't done spinning the web. I arrived Saturday afternoon, checked into a boutique hotel 2 blocks from theirs, and ordered room service. Champagne. Strawberries. A little black dress that made me look like the kind of woman who didn't get played. She played back harder. Then I texted Jordan. I'm in Vegas. Wanna shoot? He just happened to be in LA. For a shoot. He could be there in a few hours. I gave him my hotel name and room number. As I waited, I went downstairs, walked the strip, and made sure Marcus would see me. I timed it perfectly. I walked into their hotel bar just as Jalen's crew was heading out. I made eye contact with one of the groomsmen, Elijah, the only one with a conscience, and winked. His jaw dropped. I didn't stop. I didn't acknowledge Marcus. I just walked right past them and into the arms of Jordan, who had just arrived. We kissed. I knew Marcus saw. I didn't care. Later that night, I got a call. Blocked number. I answered. Lila. What the hell is going on? Oh, hey baby. Having fun in Vegas. Who the F*** is that guy? You mean Jordan? My side piece. You know, like how Natalie's yours. Silence. Then, how do you know about? I hung up. He called back. I turned off my phone. This wasn't over. Not even close. There's a kind of peace that comes after the storm, but it's not calm. It's electric. It's the moment when the winds die down, and everything is too quiet, too still, like the world is holding its breath waiting for something else to snap. That's how it felt the morning I flew back from Vegas. I was done being subtle. The second I landed in Atlanta, I took off my armor, black dress, red lips, cold smirk, and put on my final disguise, the grieving bride. I called my mother. Told her I needed to talk. She invited me over immediately, and I showed up with red-rimmed eyes and a trembling lip. No makeup. Hair undone. It wasn't fake, I was exhausted. The lies, the plans, the pretending. But the breakdown I gave her? That was a performance. I think. Marcus is cheating on me, I whispered. She gasped, hand to her chest. What? Are you sure? I nodded slowly. I didn't want to believe it. But he went to Vegas and Mom, I saw him. With another woman. At the bar. She clutched my hands. Oh baby, what do you want to do? And that's when I said it. I think I'm still going to have the wedding. Her face twisted in confusion, heartbreak. Why? I gave her the line I'd been rehearsing all week. Because I want everyone to see who he really is. The invitations went out by email. I made sure every guest, every bridesmaid, every cousin, every work colleague received it, an update saying the wedding was still on but with a few unexpected changes. The venue stayed the same. The date unchanged. But I moved the time to later in the evening under the guise of a sunset ceremony. I booked an event planner under a fake name, paid in cash, and rented the space next door too. The key detail? There would be no wedding. Only a performance. And the final audience? Natalie. I invited her. Not under my name. From a neutral email. See for yourself. You deserve the truth. She replied 1 hour later. I'll be there. Marcus tried everything that week. He called. Emailed. Showed up at my job. Sent flowers so massive they blocked the whole way of my apartment. He texted me things like, we can fix this, and it's not what you think, and my personal favorite, she meant nothing. But I didn't respond. Not once. Until the day of the wedding. He texted that morning, I love you. Please, let's talk before the ceremony. And so, I finally replied, meet me in the bridal suite. 5 p.m., alone. The venue was breathtaking, ivy-covered walls, white rose petals down the aisle, candles flickering in lanterns. Guests arrived dressed to the nines, sipping champagne and whispering about the bride's glow, the groom's nervous pacing. They didn't know this wasn't a wedding. It was theater. In the suite, I stood by the window in my dress. It was the one I'd picked before I knew. A sleek satin number with a low back and buttons down the spine. I looked like someone in love. But inside, I was all ice. Marcus entered. He looked like a man standing on the edge of a cliff. Lila, he breathed. I'm so glad you came. I never left, I said quietly. You did. I made a mistake. A mistake has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You made a choice and then kept making it. Over and over. He stepped forward. I ended things with her. I swear. I want us. I tilted my head. Which her? His face paled. And then I turned, picked up the remote, and turned on the projector I'd set up earlier. The screen lit up. First slide, a photo of him and Natalie, laughing over dinner. Second, a video of him in bed, whispering sweet nothings I'd heard myself too many times. Third, the WhatsApp chat, messages that could have been copy-pasted from the ones he'd sent me. I didn't say a word. I just watched his face collapse in real time. Then I heard a voice behind him. She really was the one you loved, huh? Natalie. She stepped into the room, looking like a dagger in a red dress. Marcus spun. What the Natalie, what are you? I came for the wedding, she said, voice cold. Guess I got the funeral instead. He looked at both of us, trapped. Caged. You set this up, he whispered. Both of you. I smiled for the first time all day. Not entirely, I said. But we make a good team, don't we? We left him there, surrounded by evidence and regret. I walked out to the waiting guests, took the microphone from the DJ, and cleared my throat. Thank you all for coming, I said. There won't be a wedding today. But there will be dancing. The crowd gasped. A few laughed nervously. Tara stepped beside me, whispered, You sure? I nodded. Turn the music up. And just like that, the wedding that wasn't became the best breakup party Atlanta had ever seen. Natalie and I clinked glasses later that night. We didn't become friends. But we became survivors of the same fire, and that's a bond stronger than champagne and betrayal. A week after the non-wedding, the dust had barely settled. I had returned the dress, canceled the honeymoon, and changed the locks to the apartment Marcus never really lived in full-time, but always insisted was his. My inbox was still flooded with messages from confused relatives and nosy coworkers. The group chat was chaos. The whispers were growing louder, but I didn't care. Because for the first time in years, I felt like I was living in my own skin again. And then came the final twist. I was in the middle of reorganizing my life, canceling subscriptions, deleting his name from all my future plans, changing emergency contact forms when I found it. An old shared folder in our joint cloud drive. One I hadn't opened in over a year. It was titled Forever Things. Inside were wedding playlists, venue contracts, gift registries, and one draft email. The subject line was simple, Plan B. It wasn't addressed to me. It was saved. Never sent. But it was dated. 3 months before our engagement. And it wasn't to Natalie either. I opened it, hands trembling, not from heartbreak this time, but from the eerie chill that comes when the final mask drops and the monster underneath looks exactly like the person you used to sleep beside. Hey T. If this doesn't go the way I expect, just know I've got the backup plan in place. Worst case, I stick it out with Elle. She's comfortable, and her mom's already got money in the wedding. But if the Vegas deal clears and the bonus hits, I'm moving to Cali. Just give me the signal. M.T. I didn't know who that was. At least not at first. But I knew how to dig. I cross-checked the email with old travel records, payment transfers, and photos. And slowly, a new picture emerged. There was a third woman. Not just Natalie. Not just me. Her name was Talia. An ex-flame from his San Francisco internship days. A tech recruiter with a sleek LinkedIn, a powerful jawline, and a condo view that screamed future wife of someone important. Suddenly, it all made sense. The extra visits to network in Palo Alto. The bizarre interest in West Coast job listings. The cryptic messages I'd once brushed off as business talk. He never planned to marry me. I was the safety net. The fallback. The financial cushion and PR-friendly partner he could parade around until something better, or more profitable, came along. And that was when I knew. I hadn't just dodged a bullet. I'd stepped off the battlefield before the nuclear warhead dropped. I didn't tell him I found the email. Not directly. Instead, I scheduled a message using his own Gmail account. I still had the password, he hadn't changed it. Rookie mistake. I set it to send in 3 days at 3 a.m. The message was short. Subject. Signal received. Body. Cali's beautiful this time of year. Hope the bonus was worth it. Tell Talia I said hi. Oh, and the wedding? Best day of my life. Then I logged out. For the last time. In the weeks that followed, people kept asking the same question. What happened? I gave them the same answer every time. Everything I needed to happen. I didn't try to fix what broke. I didn't go looking for closure. Because the truth is, some stories don't need sequels. They just need to end. One night, months later, I was at a rooftop bar with Jordan, laughing over a story that had nothing to do with pain. My phone buzzed. A message request from a name I didn't expect. Talia. It simply read, "You were right." I smiled, deleted the message, and kept laughing. Because the best revenge isn't loud. It's living well. And I was just getting started.